Today, my friends, we're talking about the absolutely insane Sony A1 or Alpha 1, the flagship Sony camera, and as far as I can see, the best camera in the world right now. This thing is absolutely insane. So we're gonna break it down, talk about what it is, who it's for, and what it means for the industry as a whole moving forward. And I've got some news for you. It's not made for everybody. It's a very, very niche camera, a very exciting camera. It's a flagship camera. It's rumored to cost about $6,500 US. So if you're the guy on the forums or in the groups with the A6000 saying, I'll wait for the next one, or this thing is disappointing, you really don't get what's going on. It's not made for you. It's not even made for me. It's made for a true professional that needs uncompromising image quality, performance, and video. This is the best that it gets, and it literally puts the R5 to shame. The Canon R5, the thing that we really all probably thought about switching over to Canon because it's a beast of a camera. It's also significantly less expensive. So there's give and take, but let's talk about the A1 today. And no, it's not for me and you. It's sadly not something that I can afford to invest in, and probably you not either. And the good news is about that is that it's taken everything that we love about Sony, the best of the best, made it twice as good. And it's not about this camera. It's about the spill off and what we can expect moving forward in the industry. So why am I talking about this camera? Like I said, it's important because it sets the bar. And that's what it's all about. That's what the flagship is all about. It's the best of the best. It's kind of showing off what they can do. And then when the A7 IV comes out later on this year, hopefully, it's gonna have some of these features in there, but definitely not to this extent, because at $6,500 US, well, you're probably not concerned with budget at all. And I gotta say that for what most people use it for, what the capabilities of the average person that's gonna probably watch this video, honestly, the A7 III and a bunch of amazing glass is gonna serve you better than this crazy, crazy camera body and no budget for anything else. So that's just the honest truth, but I am so excited about this camera. This thing is just mind-blowing, and let's talk about what this thing is. First, it's got a brand new 50 megapixel sensor with 15 stops of dynamic range, and it's capable of shooting 30 frames per second. That is insane. It puts the A9 to shame at average calculations that it can actually do per second, about 120. It's just ridiculous. So as in terms of autofocus and what this thing's capable, it's literally unmatched. So that is absolutely groundbreaking, but it goes even a step further. The electronic shutter has been improved drastically. It's got a anti-distortion shutter. It's got a anti-flicker shutter. This thing, they've literally pulled out all the stops. 50 megapixels is a lot, and we're gonna need a very fast system to keep up with that. It's gonna shoot about 150 compressed RAW photos in a row, which as it shoots so fast isn't actually that much, probably about 5 seconds or so. And it's gonna need CF Express Type A to keep up with that. But the good news is you can shoot as well with a UHS 2 and 1 as well, because you don't always need to be shooting at the highest resolution. And for video, it shoots up to 8K 30 for 30 minutes. So obviously, overheating is not an issue, but who needs to shoot 8K for 30 minutes? I have no idea. You're gonna need a very, very, very big memory card. And to do all this, to use this thing at its max, you're gonna need some insane storage and editing capabilities on your computer. So keep that in mind, but absolutely mind-blowing specs out of this thing. 15 stops at dynamic range means that it's gonna perform great in low light, which is the main concern of these higher megapixel cameras. So it's gonna be really interesting to see some of the stuff rolling out and some of the tests. I'm not sure if it has dual ISO, but you can definitely be sure that it's gonna perform in any situation because, well, it's $6,500 and you expect it to do just that. It's the same EVF from the A7S III 9.5 million dot EVF with 240 FPS refresh rate. It's as smooth as butter, and again, no blackout. So whatever you're shooting, it's gonna be right there with you. With autofocus, it's taking it to the next level. The real-time tracking and the overall autofocus, the eye autofocus for animals and stuff just looks insane. Absolutely rock steady. And honestly, I am so excited for this camera, what it's capable of, but the reality is that I would probably never buy it because it's way out of my price range for what I do. Now, having said that, if Sony sees this and wants to send me one to play with, well, I'm okay with that. Getting back to video, it's gonna do upscaled 8K 30 at 400 megabits per second. It's also gonna take the 4K 120 that we find in the Sony A7S III and give you that capability as well. So again, like I said, for video, it's an absolute beast. For photography, it's an absolute beast. It really is the future when it comes to, at this point, the perfect camera. No, it's probably not a vlogging camera. You're not gonna go out and stick a $6,500 US camera and handhold that thing, although you could, because its image stabilization has been improved. It's got the active image stabilization we find in the A7S III as well, and that's just phenomenal. I will say that one thing I'm really surprised to see is the lack of a flip screen. And again, there probably are reasons for it. And this is a bit of a bummer because with that kind of video, you don't always want to have that big rig. But for photography, I think without that screen, it's a little bit better. So that's to each his own, and I'm a bit surprised to not see that in there. But let me know what your thoughts are on the flip screen, because I thought we would see that flip screen moving forward in pretty much every camera. So for video, it is capable of 10-bit 422 and up to 16-bit externally. But like I said, you're gonna have to be able to edit this stuff, so good luck with that. Of course, it utilizes Sony's amazing Z-type batteries and has an optional battery grip. It is, however, a little bit worse at battery life because of its capabilities and what it's doing compared to, say, something like the Sony A7 III. And that's to be expected, but utilizing these industry-leading batteries, everybody's gonna be happy with. It also has an improved body, of course, better weather sealing, things like that, and all magnesium body. And there was something that I noticed that was a bit curious, and really the only gripe that I had with the Sony A7 R4. Now it does shoot in compressed or uncompressed RAW, and it also shoots in lossless RAW. Now that's gonna be an insanely huge file size, but it doesn't look like you can actually change your RAW file size again. So regardless of what it is, you're going to have massively huge file sizes. And I have a problem with this. If the Sony A7 R4 had optional file sizes like 61, like 40, and like 24, for example, that thing would be amazing. But it looks like they've carried that on into the A1 here, and that's a little bit questionable. But at the end of the day, I guess if you have this camera, you have no concerns really about anything, and that's not really a problem for you. It also has blazing fast transfer speeds for people that need those files really quickly, which is great. Love to see that on all things moving forward. The ability to transfer great photos from your camera to your phone really quickly is becoming more and more important these days. It also has a highly reliable mechanical shutter, which is great to see. And the rumor is that the shutter actually closes when you turn the camera off or you're changing lenses, which would literally be one of the best features about this camera and something I wish they would add on everything moving forward. But of course, this camera is not for everybody. This is a statement. And again, it's really not made for probably you or me. It's for the utmost professionals that need the best, or people that have an unlimited budget and just want to have this crazy, crazy camera. Let me know all your thoughts and comments on this camera down below. Make sure you keep it clean, guys. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, join the community, and like always, make mistakes, be yourself, and get out there and take some more pictures. See you next time.